some of it to John Adams, and what John Adams transcribed has been lost to history. Nobody can find it. And the actual fair copy that was presented to them, it was given to the secretary, Charles Thompson. He made notes on it, and then they signed it. That fair copy has been lost to history. If anybody's a descendant of John Hancock or any of them that took off with it afterwards, if that's ever found, you'll never need to work again in your life, because it would be worth $1 billion at least. Literally, it would. But that fair copy has been lost, paradoxically, unfortunately. Okay, in the second paragraph, when he was writing that, what we use today, which is honorable and appropriate to maintain, we hold these truths to be what? Everybody say it out loud. Self-evident. Did you know that those are not Thomas Jefferson's original words? Not very many people can tell me what he wrote down originally. He crossed off 3 words and wrote self-evident above it. You can't see it very well. If I had a PowerPoint presentation, you'd be able to see it. We hold these truths to be, he crossed off 3 words, put self-evident above it, and he was okay with that because he wrote it in his own handwriting, maybe from what Benjamin Franklin told him verbally. Benjamin Franklin was old enough to be his grandpa. He was 70 years old, and Thomas Jefferson was 33 years old, and he was one of the youngest in a whole group of them. There was only a group from South Carolina that were younger than him. And they chose him to do it because he was from Virginia. And John Adams says, I'm too obnoxious to write it, you write it, Thomas. And Benjamin Franklin had gout and couldn't write. His hand was debilitated. He couldn't write. But he wrote these words. I want you to look at me here and look at my eyes, because I want you to connect to Thomas Jefferson. Because what, boys, when you turn around and look at me, please respect me enough to look at me. Show respect. Okay? I love you, but you don't want me. And what was in the heart and mind of Thomas Jefferson were 3 other words. It wasn't, we hold these truths to be self-evident. It's okay to mess at that, and I don't want you to say, oh, those are not good words. Those are good words. But I want you to hear, and I want you to remember what his original words were, spontaneously from his heart and mind. And look at my eyes. We hold these truths to be sacred and undeniable. Say it with me. We hold these loud. We hold these truths to be sacred and undeniable. If they're sacred, point to where these truths came from. Point. Where do they come from symbolically? If the truths are sacred, who gave them to them? Point. I got it. Join this fellow. How old are you? 10. Join my 10-year-old. Everybody point. If the truths are sacred and undeniable, they came from who? Say it loud. God, thank you. And he believed that. And the rest of your life, the most important thing you can learn is to learn about God. He believed that. And then there's another group after me. I'll run out and won't be able to give all of the even 9, 10, 11-year-olds the sheet. I wrote a book, and these handouts are in my book. Those that have good memories, it's in books.familysearch.org. Say that. Books.familysearch.org. And my name is Robert A. Goodwin. I wrote a book called The Life and Morals of Thomas Jefferson. You can read it in your jammies or whatever by going in and looking at that. It's 142 pages, lots of pictures, gives a broad view of all the marvelous things that Jefferson stood for. and it has some serious things in there. It has the handouts that I wanted to have you have. I have one handout that talks about quotations about religion. The year after he wrote the Declaration of Independence, his wife gave birth to a little boy. And that little boy lived for 14 days. He was so weak. They struggled to keep him alive. But that little boy died. It was not uncommon for the parents in those days to have him. He wasn't even 1 year old. He only lived for 2 weeks. He died. That was a sad thing. Of the 6 children that Thomas Jefferson had, 4 of them died in infancy. One daughter, Polly, died when he was in the White House in 1804. He had to excuse himself to come home to be with her. She hadn't died yet, to try to keep her alive. And after just a few weeks, Polly died also. And the only daughter that outlived him was his first daughter, that he named Martha Washington Patsy Jefferson, with this very same nickname that dear George called his dear Martha, the real George Washington. Named her Martha Washington Patsy Jefferson. She got married when she was 18 years old and had 11 living grandchildren that Grandpa Tom loved. I could tell you lots of stories about things that they did together. I have a picture in my book of things that around the room that they did together. Well, in fact, when Thomas Jefferson was writing the Declaration of Independence and researching, it became known that during that time, sometime during that time that he was in Philadelphia, his wife was pregnant but suffered a miscarriage. Some of the older children will understand what that means.
Boys.
And so that was going on. He'd not lost his mother 3 months before he wrote the Declaration of Independence. His wife suffered from a miscarriage. The next year he thought he was going to have that son. And they didn't even get to name him. They were so busy struggling and focusing on trying to keep him alive. So it was another tragedy in his life. His father died when he was 14 years old. He had an older sister that died and other siblings that died. So he had a lot of loss in his life. He loved his family and he loved the place that he lived in Monticello. His wife only lived 10 years. Was his wife who died, and it almost did him. He went into seclusion, and it took him a long time to recover. And after a few months, he would ride around all by himself or with his daughter, and they'd be walking around, he'd be whistling to distract himself. He loved to sing and he loved to whistle. Even before that, when he played the violin, very entertained the governor. But he would break down and sob as he thought about his wife. Remember this, pretend you're the children and grandchildren of Thomas Jefferson. And let me tell you a story about a year before he died, a neighbor who had named his son after him because he was an honorable man. He named his son Thomas Jefferson Smith, which is an interesting name. He lived there in Charlottesville, and he was 16 years old. His dad asked him to write him a letter. And Thomas, I'm speaking for Thomas now, that was a very impressive, significant, sobering thing to me. to write this letter to this son that I didn't have. And I reflected on my 14-year-old boy. I would go to church, and in my prayer book I had the names and the birth and death dates of my family. And this unborn son, it shows the birthday in 1777. And I'd open my prayer book and think about him when I went to church. In the chamber of the House of Representatives, almost every Sunday, when I was the President of the United States. I signed a bill to allow the chamber of the House of Representatives to be a multi-denominational place of worship on Sundays. And it was that way for 57 years because of my signing that. It kind of counters the distorted view of my letter that talks about the wall of separation of church and state. Even John Quincy Adams said that he loved to go to the chambers of the Supreme Court and listen to the rousing sermons on the millennial return of the Savior during the time that Jefferson was President of the United States in the chamber. For those that know the distortions of that, they use that to remove prayer. They forgot to read their history. He wrote this letter. I'm used to talking, I'm kind of presumptuous to say Thomas Jefferson things in first person, because I don't come close. But this is a letter that he took 2 days to think about. And I want you to go read the whole letter, and in closing I'm going to have you remember the first 2 words, the most important words of the letter. Adore God. What a marvelous choice of a man that had a master's communication by the king. The very significance of those 2 words that he was saying to this 16-year-old boy. Adore God. I haven't done it. I haven't done this. I'm going to find it and read the whole letter. Because the music hasn't started yet. This is a hard copy of my book that's online. This was his coat of arms on his private papers in Latin that he started to learn when he was 9 years old. Latin, Greek, and French when he was a 9-year-old. Raise your hands, a 9-year-old. You're supposed to go home and learn 3 languages. I'm smiling, okay, I'm joking. But that's representative of what our education, how we're robbed from good education. And it's evolved that way over the last 100 years. Jefferson, with the foundation of learning 3 languages and many other things as a young man, it gave him a great desire to learn. This is, in Latin it says, he who gave us our spirits, what's inside our bodies, to give us life, gave us liberty at the same time. They're inseparable. And if anything represents Thomas Jefferson, is what that says on his coat of arms.